Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream today. We've got a Oud lesson here for you today. Qazan Far, Salam. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Listen guys, before we get started, please let me know how long you've been playing the Oud for. It really helps me to know who I'm talking to so that I can make this lesson smoother, easier, or harder for you, depending on who's here. That'd be fantastic. So please type that down in the chat if you have a moment, and we'll get started. The Oud tuning, as usual standard tuning that I use in Arabic tuning. We have C or Do, G, Sol, Re or D, and we have A or La, F or Fa, and Do, Sol, G, C. All right. So today we're gonna talk about what I call the 5 golden techniques for oud playing, the standard techniques that we use in oud playing: tremolo, doubling up, this kind of thing. We're gonna do some exercise that helps you develop that, particularly tremolo and doubling up. I want to focus on those two because these ones are very useful. Tremolo is one of these things where, like, I often get asked, I can't do tremolo, or like, I can't, people have been playing for like oud for like 2 months and they're saying, I can't do tremolo yet. Of course you can't do tremolo. It takes years to develop a good tremolo. This is one of the challenges with oud playing, especially developing the right hand. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Just going to bring something up. This month we're going to be doing a little promo on the masterclass, or the ornaments masterclass. And so I'll post a link to that, and you'll hear more about it in the newsletter if you're on the newsletter. And let's see here. I'm just going to bring that up here also. So let me know how long you've been playing oud for. If any of you have been in my oud masterclass where we talk about the 5 golden techniques or ornaments, let me know how you enjoyed it, how you enjoyed the class. All right, yes, so the 5 golden ornaments are tremolo, doubling up, bass note jumping, trills, and the combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. These things are really important on the oud. They create the essence of some of the juiciest things that we play on the oud. All right. So the first thing, so let's talk about the notes we're going to use. We're going to do a simple exercise here that shows you how to go into the doubling up. So we're going to use these notes, what's known as Maqam Busalik or Maqam Nahawand. And the notes are D, E, F, G, and A, or Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, and Si bemol or B flat. We're going to use these notes, and we can also use the C sharp here on the A string. We're going to use that too. Now I recommend doing this exercise in the 2nd position. So that means that your index finger is a little bit to the right. We're hitting the A note here with the index finger, the B flat with the 2nd finger, the F with the 2nd finger, and the E with an E natural with the index finger. So let's just walk up and down these notes so you can get a feel for this. C sharp with the 3rd finger there. all downstrokes. So the concept of doubling your notes is playing double the amount of notes, essentially. So let's say you have this melody. And then doubling would just mean that you do twice two of the same notes. Very easy, right? And you can then, from there, you can double up those notes exponentially. Now here, when you double up this much, you have to do a down, up stroke pattern. That's essential. If you don't do it that way, it won't happen. So the first way is just downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Downstrokes. Down, up, down, up. This is doubling. So we're going to create a melody with this. We're going to start at the A. This melody is beautiful. Watch how this melody works. Okay, simple melody. I started on A, G, F, E, G, F, E, D. Repeat. So now we're going to double this. We're going to double the amount of notes we played. The first way, the simple way, is to just do it on the same note. So that's the first way. Pretty simple. We're just doing down, up, down, up. Now, let's make it a bit more complicated. What we're going to do now is we're going to do down, up, same thing, but instead we're going to oscillate from the first note to the note above the one we started on. So let's say we had this sequence of A, right? A, 4 A's. We're going to do A, B, B flat, that is. Like so. So this becomes, now we'll do that on G. So if we're doing G, I'm going to do G, A. Then we'll do that for F as well. Now we need to use our pinky finger. This might be advanced for some of you. Depends on how long you've been playing oud. But the second finger needs to then move to the fourth finger. F, G. So we got then the next pattern is from G. Right? So very simple. And look how beautiful it became. This became beautiful. It's a very easy way to beautify any descending melody. And often this is done in descending melodies. It works the best that way. You can keep going. You can start on, then do an F. That last part, C, D, C, E, D. That's a bit hard. You can also use the open string there. So this, likewise, you can use the open string if you wish. last part, for some reason, I prefer doing open string there. Both work, but I would recommend that you don't mix them together like I did there. Do one method or the other, but the best thing to do is to use the second position. Use the closed positions. Closed position. So this requires a lot of stretch with the finger and the hand, and mechanically where you're stretching from. This is very crucial. So let me know in the comments, if you have in the chat there, if you have any questions about this doubling up technique or anything else oud related. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. We've got some time today. But yeah, let's keep practicing this technique, this form here. Make a song out of it. You can play this rhythm. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, one and a two and a one, two and a one, two, So this is doubling up. This is a great exercise. I hope you try it out. So like I said, we're going to do a promo on the Ouds masterclass where you learn the 5 golden techniques. Tremolo, doubling up, bass note jumping. What was the other one? Forgot off the top of my head. The other technique. Trills and hammer-on pull-off combinations. These cover a lot of the basis of oud ornamentation. And so we'll do that. Here we go. So tremolo. A lot of people have trouble with tremolo. And tremolo takes a long time to develop. I know it at least took me a good year or two before I felt like tremolo was lasting good period of time, you know, the duration of tremolo. This kind of thing is difficult. You got to activate the right muscles. You have to work out your arm like you're actually physically working out, going to the gym. It does require that. You have to push yourself. You have to try to avoid body pain and all that kind of thing. So everybody's kind of different. Some people pick it up a bit more naturally. Others take a bit more time. But it definitely comes from using the right muscles. You don't want to use your arm, your elbow, it all comes from the forearm and the wrist here, this waving action. So the best way to start tremolo, I always talk about this in my private lessons, is to start slow and think in terms of getting to the 16th notes. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E, and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then slowly increase the pace of those 16th notes. Da, 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 at a certain point, you start to really do, like, when you start slowly and then you slowly increase your speed, what happens is you start to become like a pulse. Da 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 da. You get that pulsing, vibe happening. Eventually, it starts to be, when you start to do it fast enough, that pulse starts to wither away, get weaker, and then it's just a trail of sound, trail of down, up, down, up. And you can start to reduce that da 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 accent on the beat, and then it starts to become a wash of sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, it's the way to exercise this is to find your comfort zone, where the speed that you're doing the down ups, where are you most comfortable doing it, where are you getting the best sound, and how that's working out. Like, are you getting tripped up? Are you not getting tripped up? Are you playing smoothly? Find your comfort zone where you're not tripping up at all, where your hand is strong, you're able to maintain the tremolo for a good amount of time, and then just keep going with it. And then keep increasing your speed until you find that you've reached like a barrier, or you can't move your muscles faster, and you can't, like, you start tripping up on the string. Then you want to slow down a little bit to your comfort zone, and then you want to burst, burst your tremolo speed as fast as you can and go as quickly as possible, and then slow down again and create this control of speeding up. You get tired, you trip up on the string, and then slow down again. So like this. Let's say this is your comfort zone. Then speed up, like burst. Wait until you start to trip up on the string, and then slow down again. Slowly slow down. Find the comfort zone again. Speed up and then slow down. This burst of speed is where you start to work out your muscles a lot, and you're like convincing your arm to really just speed up quickly. This is good for explosive power, and helps exercise those core muscles. When you're tired, take a break, relax, shake it out. Don't do this for extended periods of time. Again, remember, you should get a decent tremolo by the end of 2 years of playing the oud, at least to some degree of tremolo. Don't think that it's going to happen overnight. It's not. But some people are quicker than others. Depends on your physicality. again, tremolo is not the most important thing. It's nice, but you don't have to. That's not the beginning and end of oud playing. There's lots of other techniques that you can beautify your oud playing with, that are more peaceful, more subtle, more dynamic. So tremolo is just one of the core things, but you don't need to use it so much. I'm reminded of players like Hamza Al-Din, one of my favorite oud players. His oud playing was actually the first oud playing that I may have ever heard. One of the first oud that really impacted me. And so that oud style, he plays very sparse, not a lot of tremolo, but then sometimes he brings out some tremolo very effectively. And so you can do that too. If tremolo is really not your thing, it's not happening that great, focus on other techniques that can augment your playing. Hamza Al-Din is Nubian. He's from Nubian area of Sudan. His work is great, but he's schooled more in the Arab tradition, and he's created his own Nubian style of oud playing. Highly recommend listening to his work. All right, so thanks so much for joining me today. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer and answer some more questions. Let's see here. Good to see you. Your oud is tuned Bolahenk, mine is tuned Supurde. No, I don't know that song. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys want to get on the newsletter or email me, you can email me at support@OudforGuitarists if you guys have any questions. Can't spell today. Love to answer any of your questions you have about oud playing, buying an oud, whatever you like. No, I don't know Kadif and Kesesi. No, I don't know that song either. Yeah, of course I know Bint al-Sharabiya. Vibrato exercises. Yeah, great question. It's funny, I was never taught how to do vibrato. It just kind of happened. Vibrato will apply for Arabic style or Persian style or Turkish style, doesn't matter. Vibrato, you're talking about this, right? So what I would recommend is that you imagine that the palm is kind of swinging left to right or right to left. I always go to the right first before I go to the left. And try your first vibrato on the nylon strings, the first 2 strings. It'll be easier to do vibrato if you start there. The other bass strings have a lot of friction, and so it's harder to do vibrato. So use your thumb like a monkey tail hanging from a branch. Don't hook over the fingerboard. You don't need to do that much. It's just kind of hanging there, and your palm is like very, very loose. It's hanging. And then just practice sliding back and forth, sliding back and forth. That's all you need to do. And then do it quicker, 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 faster, faster, smaller, 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 focus until you're able to control and do it in almost in one spot. And then you do it in such a way where like all of a sudden your finger is not sliding on the string anymore. It's kind of anchored to one position on the fingerboard, and then you're like, it's like the skin and bone of your hand is kind of moving, rolling here and there. You can see that movement. And then you got vibrato down. So you got to start large, wide, and then focus, get faster, 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 focus that there. So feel how the feel how the sound changes. You want to know where the tone is, and you want to kind of oscillate sharper, flatter, sharper, flatter, sharper, flatter, just very subtly, so that you get the right nuance you're looking for. Oud strings are generally made out of nylon and PVC. The first 2 strings are going to be a pure nylon or pure PVC, and then the bass strings are going to be a core of like nylon silk, kind of like threads of silk, threads of nylon or threads of PVC plastic, and then those threads are wound with metal. You can get nickel wound, you can get like silver plated nickel wound, you can get copper wound. Copper wound are nice and warm sounding. I really like copper wound bass strings, but if you're looking at that, you're kind of looking at getting like labella lute strings that are copper wound. Most are nickel plated, nickel wound strings. These are good questions. Is there any convention for how wide the vibrato is, or does it depend? Yeah, it does. There is conventions. Like you'll notice that for example, let's compare Arabic oud playing style and Turkish oud playing style. I find there's a lot more vibrato and a lot more bending in Turkish oud style. And then there's less in Arabic music. So generally, there's more in Turkish, there's less in Arabic. And in Arabic style, there's certain notes where you might not even do any vibrato, like for example, your half flat or a quarter flat. Let's say the E. You might not do any on there. You may do a different kind of ornament to embellish it. You might do something like that, but you might not ornament that vibrato that very much, because it's already a very difficult pitch to nail, and it's just not in the music. It's just not what generally happens. But Turkish style seems to do vibrato everywhere, and there's a lot of bending notes, so there's a lot more of like a flowy kind of finger placement. Improvisation scares some people. So does new music. There's a saying around town: if you're going to play out, we love new music as long as we've heard it before. Do you have a question about anything? It's an interesting comment. Tips on trill. Yeah, so there's a lot of a variety of trills. So the doubling can help you with trills. The doubling technique that I showed at the beginning of this live, if you were here for it, this just go between one note A and B flat. Now, bending is never done. Just to quickly answer your question, Ron, the strings don't bend very easily. But yeah, so for trills, it's all about just increasing your speed, oscillating. So you do like a one stroke on the A. You want to get that sound out. Your finger needs to be strong enough to be able to do that. There's short trills and there's longer trills, or longer oscillating. The shortest is just 1, 2, 3. That's really the essence of a trill. But we tend to do it a bit longer than that. Da la la, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like 5 like that. You can do 3s going up and down. And there might be certain places which are easier to do trills and less logical to do trills. For example, like when you're in the first position, you can do a trill on the A, but doing a trill on the F and G is difficult. So you might not do a trill there if you want to stay in first position for any reason. So this is something you can do. Just keep building your speed with oscillating between one note and another, especially the second finger and pinky. Such thing as a fretted oud. That would be the European lute. There was one Moroccan oud player who had a soprano oud built, and they put frets on it to make the sound stick out a bit more. But it's not a commonly used instrument. It was kind of just his kind of project. But yeah, no, ouds are not typically fretted. It's a great idea though, especially like with movable tied-on frets, like lute. I think there should be, but it's not generally done. It's just there's so much freedom with fretless, and it has a particular sound. Especially in Turkish music, I don't think Turkish oud style would benefit from frets. It would lose a lot because you can't do all the nuances as much. Like the fingerboard is very short, right? So to fit all the frets that you need in Turkish music, they have a lot of little intervals. They sharpen notes on ascending melodies. They flatten notes on descending melodies. So you need a lot of frets to really get the right nuance. So fretless is the best. You just can't avoid it. Yeah, I'm familiar with Sudanese music a little bit. Not particularly, like I don't really know any songs. The closest kind of thing I know is like Hamza al-Din, who I mentioned earlier. That kind of Nubian style music, but that might not be exactly Sudanese music. But they use a lot of like pentatonic scale and this kind of stuff. A very bluesy type of thing. There's a couple artists that I do listen to, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. All right, well, my time's up. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Happy to see you guys here. And of course, if you have any other follow-up questions, you can email me. My email is in the chat. Any questions about buying an oud, any of my courses that you have, or questions you have about any of my online courses, you can check out my courses here. I'll just pop a link into the chat here. And I also do lessons for beginners and also coaching for more advanced Oud players. So yeah, check those out, and have a great day. Have a great Sunday evening, and we'll catch you next time. Next month I'll have one more YouTube live, and then I probably won't have one until January. All right. And yeah, stay tuned. There's more Oud videos coming up on YouTube soon. So we'll see you on that. All right. Thanks. Bye.